again, the governor has the ability to use clemency powers to essentially pardon people, maybe even commute sentences. If someone is currently in a jail or prison for a cannabis charge, the governor could use his clemency powers for that. But the clean slate, I just want to go on this a little bit more, is that there is currently a clean slate task force. A number of us are on that. I'm on that clean slate. We're looking at as broad as possible records. And I just want to encourage those of you who support Clean Slate, there will be opportunities for the community to weigh in because we want it to be as broad as possible so many people can benefit from Clean Slate.
I'd like to add to that too, if possible.
If I may just one, so when you say clean slate, basically it never happened. Is that what you're saying?
Well, we can. It's a little. There's sort of like, I mean, there's some technical aspects.
Yes.
So right now, currently, if you have an arrest record, the repository of that information is through the Hawaii Criminal Justice Status Center, which falls under the Attorney General. So the work that marijuana, LPP, a number of our organizations have been supporting for expunging arrest non-conviction records is through this repository through the Attorney General's office. And I do want to just point out some statistics from the AGs. This was a year ago that they ran their database, and there were over 50,000 arrests in Hawaii for cannabis-related charges. 50,000, and over 10,000 convictions for a period of years. So we're looking at how many people in our community are impacted by that. Now, if someone has a conviction, that is a slightly more complicated process. There are only some offenses, criminal offenses, that are considered eligible for expungement. But if you have that process, then that goes through the courts, and then the courts have their own records, and those records are sealed. Now, there's still some exemptions even under Clean Slate, but I think that's getting into the weeds a little bit, but there is a process for that. And Clean Slate means we use technology to run through the database, and then after a period of time, if that person doesn't have new convictions, we use the technology to wipe it away. Now, it can still be saved, but like a landlord or somebody else who's doing a background check, that won't pull up. And this has happened in a number of cases, and I want to illustrate how it plays itself out, whether drugs. There was a woman on Maui for some years ago. I actually was a program director of a reintegration program on Maui, and there was a woman in our program. She was just moved on in her life. She had been earning her, like, working towards social work, and I think she also earned her substance abuse treatment. But she kept facing barriers, and at one point in time, she felt so fortunate that she was pulled up for housing, a subsidy. But when they ran the background check,